Hey guys, welcome back to Weekly Kick Them. I am Ben, kind of the head kick around here. And with me is a very special guest, Galaxy Geek Luke. How you doing, man?
Doing great. Thank you for having me on the show. I'm really happy to be on this one.
Oh, really happy to have you here. Yeah, to talk kinky stuff. It's been quite a week with everything. And sad, my last night of remembering the great Kevin Conroy. We found out today. How old is he? Like 63, 64?
66. 66.
66. He died. I mean, he was a lot of people's favorite Batman for years.
Yes. I grew up. We all grew up watching Batman animated series. My favorite Batman series is still Batman. Batman Beyond. I
Yeah.
absolutely love Batman Beyond. And so losing Conroy is so sad because he really was my favorite, especially voice for Batman. He was such a great, like, rugged voice, and listening to him talk about, like, I watched so many different interviews in the past of him talking about how he got the voice,
Yeah.
and it's so, I mean, it's great. And I loved him whenever he showed up on Batwoman. Like, I even liked it, like, even the short bit of time we got him there. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, the first time we got him in live action, I watched that scene today. He owned that character.
Oh yes.
And people say, and maybe I agree, him and Mark Hamill, the best Batman Joker back and forth dynamic. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I think it's because when you go back and watch the original animated series, there is just a sense that they bring so much life to the characters that I don't think I think they were some of the best voice actors you could have ever seen. Because being able to say that you would want to see these actors play a live action really tells that a voice actor, you want to see them play live action, is actually really interesting. You normally don't see that. And so seeing Mark Hamill, who is Mark Hamill, and then but Kevin Conroy was just an amazing person. He passed away from cancer. His family was trying to keep that more of a uh, under wraps. They didn't want to start a lot of press behind it. A lot of kind of like Chadwick when we lost him, kind of the same kind of ideal.
Mm, it's sad he really met. I, I'm guessing you seen Batman Beyond Eternal the Joker, right?
Well, Batman Beyond the series and also the Return of the Joker, both.
That Eternal the Joker is my favorite Batman animated movie. It's
That is
so
a
well done.
it's a very dark movie when you go back and watch it.
Have you seen the unrated version? Because I think there's a PG-13 and there's an unrated version.
See, I never saw that version. I just know, like, when you find out, like, watching the story of Tim, what they do to Tim Drake is disturbing when you really think about it.
Yep. Do you, it really, I mean, they basically violated his mind, right? I mean, they brainwashed him to become a Joker. It's
Yes. Well,
really,
they made him a little Joker, and then they put something in his mind to where he would actually become the Joker in the story. It was such a dark. It was a great movie. It was a great story the way they were handling it, because they didn't have a they did not use um not Tim Drake Jason Todd.
that
They
good.
didn't have a
Oh,
Jason
okay.
Todd in
Right.
the animated. And so they kind of did the Jason Todd idea where Joker gets a Robin. And I mean, in the comics, Joker kills Jason Todd, but in this one, he
Right.
brainwashes Tim Drake.
I think that's darker, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah, it's much darker. I think it really is one of the darkest stories that we've seen, other than Killing Joke, which a lot of people are not a fan of that story.
No, I thought people love the comic but hated the movie.
Yeah, the movie was The movie was weird. Like the beginning of that movie is just a weird movie.
Well, it was like a prologue, and then it hard cuts to the actual story, right?
Yeah, like you have this literal people go for the killing joke, but they get the first like 30 minutes is a Batgirl story that ends with her having sex with Batman, which what?
I remember everybody flipping out about that scene.
Well,
Okay.
well, also in the Batman Beyond comics, they actually go into a little bit, or there was an animated comic that goes farther, and basically within the comic, it Batman actually does end up with Barbara. That's why Dick um, leaves Bruce before Batman Beyond, because
Oh,
Dick was so upset with Bruce over him getting with Barbara. That's why Bruce
really?
and Barbara's relationship is so strained in Batman Beyond.
Oh, I never knew that. That's interesting. And you hit that in the comics?
Mm-hmm. It's a
Oh,
it's basically a continuation of the Batman animated series comic, and it is canon to what happens in Batman Beyond.
oh wow. Okay.
Still
Yeah,
weird.
I love the little flashback segment in that movie.
Mm-hmm. That's why you really don't see Dick introduced in the Batman Beyond show, but he is in the Batman Beyond comic. He comes in
Okay.
there though. So
Is
fun.
he a good Nightwing in the comic?
Uh, wait a second.
Is he a good version of Nightwing in the comic?
Yes, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, Kevin really missed. Again, he was everybody's favorite Batman. He was the one who said, I am vengeance, I am the night, I am Batman. And he was
And
great at that,
what's
right?
really interesting is when you go look at his filmography, most of his filmography is Batman. He's got some other credits, but the majority is Batman.
Okay, I want this came up in a conversation for me today. Do you think you'll see him being honored either at the Oscars or at the Emmys next year?
Um, neither.
Really?
Um, yeah, if anything, maybe the Emmys, but I don't even think the Emmys because he was a voice actor and really not a live action actor. They will like they don't normally give Emmys to the animated as much, and so I don't think you're gonna see, if anything, Emmys. But he won't be Oscars because he didn't have any movies. He didn't really do any movies that would you would like because of the idea of the anime is so separate. I mean, maybe technically
The,
you have Batman, the Ghost of the Phantasm, which was a movie theatrically released. So technically, maybe an Oscar nod or like reckon like something like that, maybe. But it would lean more Emmys, and I don't even think Emmys because he's really not done anything in years and years and years. So I'm not for sure.
I could see him being included in the daytime Emmys.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's probably
Really?
I.
I know a lot of people are going to be sad about that, mad about that, but he's not a movie guy, and the TV thing is iffy. It's animated. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's well. I mean, it's on. I mean, it's truth. I mean, because I respect the because we. I mean, let's be honest. Like nerds and people who grew up with comics and grew up with the animated shows, which have some of the best stories within it. We the animated stuff does not get the recognition that it deserves. Like I still say the Teen Titans show is one of the best animated shows ever created. I love that show.
I haven't seen that show yet. It's good though.
The not the original Teen Titans from that was on Cartoon Network.
Okay.
Don't
Hey,
watch
I,
Teen Titans. Don't watch Teen Titans Go. That one is a travesty of just terrible horribleness that needs to die in a hole. But who said that?
I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear anything.
Not at all. No, no. But
Well, speaking of animation, what do you think about Studio Ghibli and Lucasfilm joining forces on making something Star Wars related? I think that sounds fantastic.
I absolutely love it. Me and my wife are waking up early in the morning so that because she's got to go to work in the morning, and we are
Mhm.
going. So before she goes to work, we're going to record our reaction to the short.
Okay.
I cannot wait. It is going to be so good, so fun. Um, I I just think I love it. I absolutely love it. One sec. Let me show something on screen for a second on that because that's a great
Yeah.
way to dive into. One sec. Banter, 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 banter. What's it? I'm about to share my screen because I am very, very excited about this um, this thumbnail.
You might have to put in somewhere because I'm in shock.
Share screen. Share screen. There we go.
Oh, that's awesome. You
That's
made that?
yep. That's gonna be
That's
a reaction
awesome.
tomorrow. I cannot wait. I was so proud of myself on that one because I was able to get the make it look like the poster that they released. I was just very just happy,
Man,
like so happy.
and that's the one thing I can't do. You are a great artist. And even publishing.
It's more of I did not start that way at all.
Hey, Mr. X, how you doing?
I'm feeling quite well, my friends. How are we feeling today?
You're doing well.
Sad.
Oh,
Feeling sad.
We lost Kevin Conroy today.
Ah, well, yes, yes. There is. I was hoping for even better news this morning, waking up, but I saw that message from some friends of mine in the group chat, and lo and behold, yeah, Kevin Conroy, voice of Batman, great, great, great legacy, Levi, and so sudden. Like, I mean, I never really heard of him having any particular health issues.
He
Um,
had cancer that his family was trying to keep under wraps. A lot like how Chadwick Boseman having cancer. It was kind of the same situation where they tried to kind of keep it hidden that they didn't want the mass public to know about it.
wow. Kevin Conroy, you will definitely be missed, my friend.
what's your favorite Kevin Conroy as Batman performance, Mr. X? Do you have one?
I would have to say probably in the Arkham games.
Ooh,
Nice.
Yeah,
so good.
yeah, definitely love him in the Arkham games. I mean, you got the animated series for sure. That's classic. I'm pretty. He voiced him in the Justice League show too, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep,
Yep.
he did.
Oh, then easily. I'm definitely throwing Justice League in there as well. Damn, like so many great Batman performances. I mean, to be considered the voice of the Batman for so many years, I know that meant a lot to a lot of people. And I'm not the biggest DC fan, and I can't say that I faithfully watched, like every single episode of Justice League or even, the animated series. But from what I could gather from it, I mean, it was always something great to watch. Great stories, great characters, great performances from voice artists and the artists themselves animating the series. But Kevin Conroy was someone truly special and inspiration to anyone like even myself who aspires to be voice actors of that level and caliber. Like it's the we lost a great one, but you know what? He leaves a beautiful legacy, and that is what we should celebrate.
Absolutely. I mean, Mr. X, before you popped off, we were talking about the announcement of Studio Ghibli at Lucasfilm collabing together and making a special movie or hour special or something. You have any thoughts on that?
It's a short. It's a Grogu short.
Oh,
Okay. See, here's the thing that I think Grogu's the kind of character that works for something like this. And you know, I haven't watched. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of Mandalorian, but like just from all the pop culture and seeing Grogu is like stuffed in stores or in book bags, I'm like, this is great. Like, how can you not enjoy that face? So and he does look like a Studio Ghibli character, honestly. So for them to come together, it's unique, it's interesting, it's different, but it is definitely something that I would love to see where they go. And if they're successful with this, maybe they can actually create that real Star Wars movie that's being alluded by so many people.
If I shared on my screen, Ben, the actual poster for what Studio Ghibli is doing. Grogu and Dust Bunnies. This is the style that they're going with.
nice.
I like
I
it.
cannot wait.
And when does it come out? Do we know?
Tomorrow morning or tomorrow.
Oh, really? Wow.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they've been kind of talking about throughout the week. Today was the first time they actually released the poster. It's going to be a short, so probably about 10 minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Probably kind of like what the I Am Groot shorts were, but the fact that they've got Studio Ghibli working with it, it's going to be impressive. I cannot wait.
I'm hoping that it'll be a mini. If it's a short, I hope they do like an. I hope they go as well so we can get like an hour thing. You know what I mean?
I think with this it's probably just going to lean towards the shorter, like, because maybe like 10-minute long, because they've been doing a lot of these on Disney Plus recently. You've got the Cars shorts that they've been doing. They just released Zootopia Plus.
Toy Story.
Yeah. Which one?
Toy Story has their shorts.
Yep.
Monsters Inc. has their shorts. There was
Star
you
Wars.
said I'm Groot. Mm-hmm.
They've been doing a lot because I think it's really easy to release those and get people excited about them just to get them to go watch, but they're not like super big for Disney Plus, I don't think.
But isn't it something like? Is it going to be canon? I can't imagine it being canon, right?
I mean, he's dealing with Dust Bunny, so it could be. I mean, it's not like it could be like a side story. I mean, it's not like it has to connect. It's just gonna be fun.
Yeah. I like those fun little things. Kind of
think
like
Go ahead, Ben.
yeah, like I am Groot. Exactly. You know, there's that. I mean, real quick. I know, Josh, you're already caught up, but Luke, what did you think about the latest Andor episode, real quick?
The latest Andor episode. I thought this newest episode was great. I thought it was a very excellent episode. I have me and my wife have been watching it week to week. Before in the episodes before, I mean, it's a slow burn, a very slow burn. We were taking a bit. It was taking us a little bit to get into it because it's so slow. But I really enjoyed the last episode. I think it was the best episode overall because it really moved the story along. I think Disney or Star Wars was dumb for naming it Andor. I actually don't think they should have named the show Andor.
What would you have named it?
I would have named it Sparks of the Rebellion.
Ooh, fiery. I like it. Okay.
Well, I mean, because if you think about it, Andor is a side character in a side movie. He's not the main guy in Rogue One. He's a side character within that movie. no one really knows this guy, and you're putting the whole show behind one guy who the average person would have no idea who he is. And so instead of naming it Andor, which I think has hurt their ratings and their views tremendously, because let's be honest, like it would be tough for me to try and get my dad onto the show, because he's like, well, why would I watch about this dude named Andor? Who is he? And so it's like, oh, well, he was, do you remember that movie Rogue One? He was the side character in that movie. It's like, that's tough. But if they had keep the same story, same characters, everything, but change the name to Spark of the Rebellion, and then that you just say when you're talking about this show, oh, it's the beginning of the rebellion, and that's all you have to say, and that makes it better.
So I wonder, in the books, I'm not all that familiar with the Star Wars novels, but does Andor have a bigger role in the books, if you know, by any chance?
They don't care about the books. The creators could care less about the books. They don't look at the books at all.
Yeah, you mean you have too much faith in them, Mr. X. They don't care about the books. They should. But
they don't read books. That it's only the movies. They don't like, they've changed so many things from the books when it came to the movies or the shows. It's honestly, they went with Andor because of the creator of Rogue One is the director, or basically the who is over Andor basically was directing Rogue One. And he liked Andor. He liked that character, and he wanted to dive more into that character. And so that's why they made the show, because the director wanted to dive more into that character. And that's why they went with it. Not because he had anything big in the books or comics or anything.
Well, see, and I guess I just wonder why, and I feel like maybe we were talking about this before, but why do they make it so hard to pull from ideas from other forms of source material? I mean, I know the books have to be rich with lore that's being expanded upon, but then again, I heard someone say that they're not like the most canon, so it's...
Oh, they're not canon at all. They're really not canon at all.
Okay.
Well, they're kind of canon. Like they're canon until they don't want them to be canon. That's kind of how it works. Like they'll do a book that oh, Rey was a nobody. Well, she's somebody now. I mean, that's how they work.
Well, because we're here, let me bring this up. News came out today that James Gunn wants all of DC movies, shows, animation, and comics to be one complete story going forward.
Was comics included with that, or was it? I knew animation, movies, and everything else. I don't know about comics.
Okay, so maybe not comics, but animation, movies, and shows. Mainly, they want to make everything canon. Is that a mistake?
I like the fact that what DC has done so far is different than Marvel. It's a little more freeing to just kind of do what you want with different playgrounds, have different characters operating their own universes, and then you bring them together, just when need be, if it serves a purpose for the story. But I like Aquaman by itself. I like Shazam by itself. I haven't seen Black Adam yet, but I'm pretty sure I feel like I like the movie. But I think for me, it's just, if we had everything connected, it's hard to get movies like the Batman, like a Joker. Now we're getting a sequel for Joker, and that's something I wish Marvel would, take charge of and do. There's so many different characters that they could make legitimate one-off stories that could work very, very well for the big screen. Something like the Batman, something like a Joker. Marvel has that, they just don't want to do it. But all that being said, I just think that I would prefer I mean, even though it sounds great and all that DC is bringing it all together, I would just prefer that they stick to the formula that they have.
Well,
And
I mean, I
like I
will
said,
say this with Marvel. Marvel is actually doing that with their specials when it comes to like a Werewolf by Night or the holiday
that's
special
fair.
for Guardians of the Galaxy.
That is fair.
But I completely understand where you're coming from on that. I do. But I will say how messy the DC universe has been in the past few years. Because
Mhm.
who's our Batman? Who's our Flash going to be in the future?
Mhm.
What is this leading towards? We had built so many things up in the past where there was a justice. I mean, Zack Snyder's Justice League built towards a dark side. I mean, the first Justice League was building up to almost like an anti Justice League. There's been so many stories that they're building up to that they've just kind of had to throw away, and so there's just been no plan.
See, and I completely understand. And that's where my problem lies. And you got Michael Keaton, and you got Ben Affleck, you got Robert Pattinson. Who knows if you might add a fourth Batman? So yeah, I get why he would want to make it more cohesive and less confusing, which is understandable. But the studio has to take some charge. Like, stop making announcements of you wanting to have all these different Batman characters running around at the same time, but they never interact, quote unquote. But you're gonna start to confuse fans after a while. And not let me not say the general movie going audience will be like, wait, well, wasn't that guy just Batman in this one? But then what happened to the one that was in Batman in that one? So, but now they switched him again. Like, I just think you're right. They need to be more organized. But I think that even when they organize it, there's still room to kind of do what they do. They just need to scale back on some things. And announcing 4 different Batman, that's easily got to be one of them.
I get it. But I think at the same time, something that DC is missing that Marvel is doing very well with, and where a lot of people are missing, is a lot of great stories happen with multiple characters interacting with each other. And so having a character like Batman and Superman, they do work really well having stories together. But
Absolutely.
the way DC had handled the beginning was just, I mean, it was just bad. I mean, they started out with with Man of Steel, which was a good movie, but divisive. I mean, it was a very darker tone for Superman that some people were fine with, a lot of people were not a fan of. And then they jumped directly into Batman versus Superman, which I think was the biggest misstep from anything, because that movie is so it throws everything in the kitchen sink at it. Literally, there's a fight with a kitchen sink in it.
And it's bad. And it's bad. It's not good. Not good at all.
And Martha. Ugh.
Why didn't you say that name?
I hate
Why
that
didn't you
line.
say that name?
Why
I hate it.
say that name?
I hate that line so much. It's the worst thing I've ever seen.
The line, the concept. It's like, wait, that's your mom too? Well, the name of your mom as well? Yes, Batman, that is also the name of my mother. Oh, well, I guess we ought to be best friends then, and this requires some sort of justice. So let's form a league, guys. I really loathed that movie. I'm not going to go on the tirade again. How friends of mine and I watched it in shifts, but it's just that right there. I just feel like it's just lazy writing.
I don't just I think there was some good writing in it, but also I think what's funny is I saw a meme before the movie came out about their moms being the same name, and that's why they become friends, and it was a joke. And then when it happens in the movie, it's like, oh, come on.
And right after just having this big fight, first of all, you're coming in with full on heavy armor, like you're about to take on the world's biggest tank, and at the time, right now, being Superman, and you laced it with kryptonite. And then all of a sudden, we want to become best friends because our moms have the same name after we just duked it out and I nearly killed you. No, sir. No way.
I'm going to say this, though. The fight was badass, in my opinion. I love that fight.
Oh yeah,
The fight was great. It's just it ended horribly.
Yeah, agreed. And then typical ending, but the fight was good. And I'm going to say this, Ben Affleck made a pretty solid Batman.
Oh yeah,
Most
but taking it back to the original conversation though, I think James Gunn and Peter
Peter Safran.
Safran, yeah. I think they have a plan. I think having those two over the DC universe is a very smart idea. I think if they already, this is a minor spoiler for Black Adam. It's not like major or anything. They do have a character from Peacemaker in Black Adam, so it connects the universe a lot more. There was a
They knew?
the girl general that gets Black Adam and closer to the end of the movie.
Yeah. All right.
That's as non-spoilery as I can give you.
Okay. Hit me off camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the idea. I'm just worried they'll, it's a huge overthinking because Lucasfilm tried that many years ago.
Lucasfilm did and didn't. Lucasfilm didn't have a plan. Here's the problem with Lucasfilm, and Lucasfilm has had this problem, and they still have this problem even with their TV shows. And I don't think people realize it yet, but I think they're about to. Every series, show, movie, they give it to the creator and say, "Do your thing." They say, "Do your thing, make your movie, make your show, and we'll try and connect it afterwards or something." Like Andor, the reason why Andor is made the way it is, great show, but it's that director's vision, and it's not connecting to anything else. The Obi-Wan show was not focused on connecting to anything with Mandalorian. The Favreau and Filoni had nothing to do with that show, and it's the same thing with even Boba Fett. Boba Fett was. Go ahead.
One other thing about that Obi-Wan show, it was important to be isolated because it happened at a very specific time, and it really couldn't affect anything else, or it couldn't be affected by anything else.
It yes and no. You could actually technically connect it to. You could bring in characters that will connect to Mandalorian down the road. Like you could have brought in like a Sabine or connected it to the Mandalorian culture because of Obi-Wan's love for the Mandalorian that he was in love with. And there were themes that you could connect to, but for Obi-Wan you didn't have to. But they threw in random stuff anyway into Obi-Wan, so I mean, could have thrown some Mandalorian stuff into it.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I'm really curious what's going to happen with the Acolyte.
Acolyte's another story that they're giving to the writer and director, or the writer and showrunner, and they're letting them do their thing. There's no plan. I think it'll be a good show, and I think the creator and the writer and the showrunner are great, and I think they're going to give you a great show, but there's still no plan. They're not planning anything.
Would you give it the Star Wars, the Kevin Feige and Marvel treatment? Kind of like, here's these parameters, play within this sandbox here. You can do it like as long as you stay within this.
Yeah, I would. I think you'll see Phase 4. I think the reason why Phase 4 has not been as good is because they have not stuck to the parameters and they gave the directors free reign. It's the same problem. They are looking at things as old school movie making, and that's not what this is. This is a long running TV show with Star Wars, with franchises. Franchises, if you play them right, they're long running TV shows where This is just the new season of this TV show, and it's all connected in some form or fashion. Even if it's small, even if it's minute, they're still part of the big TV show. It's kind of like back in the day when you had not Charm, Buffy and Angel. Angel was a spin-off show off of Buffy. They really didn't connect that much, but there were points where every once in a while a character would appear in Angel or appear in Buffy that would connect the two shows together. And that's how you should treat your franchises, where they don't have to be fully connected, but there needs to be a theme running through all of them to lead to a grander story that you're telling. And Star Wars is doing it wrong, where their focus is this director, make your movie, make your stuff, this director, make your stuff, and they just aren't having a cohesive plan. And I don't think they're letting Filoni and Favreau really take over like they really should be. I think they're less in control than I originally thought they were.
And to be honest, I never thought they were fully in control.
At a point, I thought they were. I thought at one point that when The Mandalorian was coming out and season 2 was coming out, it was seeming like they were in control of a lot. But I think as time has gone on, it's been proving more and more that it's the same thing that Star Wars is doing at on the movie level. It's just it's working on TV and it wasn't working on movies.
Is it really working on TV? I mean, let's think about this for a minute. Mandalorian is a hit. Boba Fett, not too
Half
much.
a hit. I would say half a hit. The Mandalorian episodes in Boba Fett.
Fine, I'll give you those. Obi-Wan, half a hit.
Yeah.
Andor, hit, only rating show it there. I mean,
hit to the mega fans.
Hit to the mega fans. Which, I'm afraid that's going to happen with Ahsoka.
I think Ahsoka is going to be... Ahsoka has something Andor hasn't, where Ahsoka has been introduced in Mandalorian and in the Book of Boba Fett, so you've already connected to that character on TV. You also have the idea it's lightsabers. You get anyone onto a show with lightsabers. It's just there is something within all of us. Everyone wants to be able to start swinging a lightsaber and having fun with their friends. There's just something about the Force and the Jedi that's so much more attractive than what an Andor show is. And so that show's going to kill, especially because it's set after they're doing it after Mandalorian season 3. And so you're going to have at least an episode where either Ahsoka's going to show up or Sabine's going to show up or even Hera might show up. Like you're going to have some connection to make people excited for the Ahsoka show.
Well, let me ask you this. People are saying it's going to be technically Rebels Season 5, right?
Yes.
What happens to the people who never seen Rebels before, who never seen Clone Wars before?
They'll be fine because if they're grounding it around Ahsoka, then you can catch up your audience in through the first season. You don't really like it. Helps if you watch Rebels, but you don't have to, and that's the genius of where they're going with it. Because all right, look at Mandalorian. Mandalorian is connected very much to Rebels, but you don't have to watch Rebels to understand what's going on in the Mandalorian. But if you watch the Mandalorian or the Rebels, the stuff about the Darksaber and what's going on with Bo-Katan and everything else makes all of it so much grander and better. But you don't have to watch Rebels to understand what's going on there.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. Mr. X, do you have anything to add?
Hold on, my connection is a little off. Could you repeat what you said again, my friend?
I said, do you have anything to add?
No, before that.
Oh. I what did we say? We said they never good job building up Ahsoka through Mandalorian, right? Basically.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
basically the idea is like, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I have a lot of Star Wars homework. um, I'm just like, so I'm curious for me personally because I remember growing up seeing like episodes of Clone Wars, like never really, and it would just be bits and pieces randomly here and there, seeing trailers for it, and Ahsoka being pushed at the forefront. So for someone like me who's just kind of wandering into this universe here and trying to get a hold of a TIE fighter, I'm just very very curious as to how this show plays out. I love Rosario Dawson. I've always loved her as an actress. So I just want to know, like, what kind of story are they trying to tell with her? Is it like another? Like, I just don't know, honestly.
Well, let me ask you this: what did you think of her in the Mandalorian season 2 episode?
She was pretty badass. I gotta admit that.
And so within that story, you didn't have to know what was going on because there was a lot of emphasis from Rebels, but you literally have her asking, "Where is Thrawn?" which is the main villain from Rebels, from season 2 of Rebels. And so you don't have to know all the details, but it does add to it. But you don't have to. And so, like my dad, he loved the episode and loved Ahsoka, and he didn't know anything about Rebels, and that's okay. And so now, when Ahsoka's show comes out, he's going to jump at wanting to watch it and try to understand who's Thrawn, what's going on, and I think it's going to be great. I am less worried about Ahsoka as I am Andor, because Andor is a harder story to get the mass audience around because it's so slow, because it's so adult. It doesn't hit those 4 quadrants. It's not something I want to sit down with a kid to watch. It's a harder sell than Ahsoka with lightsabers. I mean, yeah.
See, and it seems like this show has been very divisive, especially on Twitter. Like a lot of people are very torn on Andor. Some are saying it's the greatest, it's the greatest piece of work that Star Wars has put on as far as TV. And then you have those that are like, it's a little too slow for me. Just kind of like how it was with some people with House of the Dragon. Some folks were saying like, "Nah, this is great." Others are like, "I don't even know what's going on. Things aren't really happening. It's just a lot of talking." But I think people fail to realize that even through dialogue, if you write it, if your dialogue is written well enough, you can tell the story just through your characters and their emotions and how it's being pushed forward. So for me, I think when it all finishes, I'm definitely gonna sit down and watch Andor because I've seen the conversations. I want to be able to have an opinion for myself to see like what this whole situation is really about, and it
I
seems
would
like
say with Andor for you, I'd watch the first 3 episodes, and if you don't like it after the first 3, I wouldn't continue. But if you like it after the first 3, keep going.
okay. I'll definitely do that. I'll definitely do that. Did in Rogue One actually did he have like a significant role, or I mean, I'm pretty sure he wasn't the main character from what I understand, but
He was a main character. He was a main character, but he was more of a love interest with a interesting past. That was
okay,
more of it within the story, and it wasn't like a full love interest wise, but it was more. He was more the spy. Had been a rebel longer than Jyn Erso. Like he was important, but it wasn't like he was not the main character. Jyn Erso was the main character in that movie. It's an excellent movie. You do need to check that one out.
okay, that is definitely on my list. All right,
It's I would say of all new Star Wars, it's the best newest Star Wars movie.
All right, then I'm gonna have to check out Rogue One. I remember seeing it. Oh man, when they were advertising it, it was everywhere.
Oh, it's incredible. I will say it's the best of the new Star Wars movies, easily.
Yeah, easily.
Oh yeah.
I'm just thinking, yeah, I can't think of anything better. That's
Honestly,
not Mandalorian. That's not Mandalorian.
when it comes to new Star Wars movies wise, I rank it Rogue One's first, Force Awakens second, Solo third, Rise of Skywalker fourth, Last Jedi fifth.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have the same top three, but I flip the bottom two.
Yeah.
I hate the sequels. I hate them with a passion.
I like Force Awakens. I think I was not a fan of The Last Jedi, but I think it was an excellently made movie. Rise of Skywalker is a bad made movie, a bad made just thematic story overall. I had so much fun with that movie. It's a bad movie, but I had fun with it. The Last Jedi is a okay.
I was going to say, Rise of Skywalker kind of like Black Adam in that sense.
Yeah. It's a lot like Black Adam, where the I I think the Rise of Skywalker. The more you think about that, angrier it makes you if you know Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever. But I had a lot more fun with it than Rise of Skywalker. But Rise of Skywalker is a much better made film.
You mean Last Jedi?
Last Jedi, yeah. The Last Jedi is a much better made film, but I don't enjoy the film. Rise of Skywalker is a bad film, but I enjoy watching it.
I can't watch anything after the Force Awakens. I can barely watch that. Not because it's a bad movie, it's a good movie with too much wasted potential in it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I have to say, The Last Jedi is a very badass title.
Oh, it is.
I like the title. I like the title.
There was so much potential with that movie, but it's the same problem that Star Wars is going to continue having unless Catherine Kennedy figures out what she's doing. They let Rian Johnson just play. He was given the keys to the castle and said, just go play. There was no plan. There was nothing. There was no story there was no conclusion. There was no idea where this was going. It was just, here's your movie. And Rian Johnson, the film director that he is he likes going into a film where half the audience is going to love it, half the audience is going to hate it. That's his kind of film.
Well, if they knew that, why wouldn't they get him?
Because it was a big name. Because he was a big name. He had great credit, and he just they wanted a big name. Like, why would you get Josh Trank to do a Boba Fett movie? I mean,
yeah. That brings up a whole nother problem.
Oh, Josh Trank. You notice that he has not had any films after that.
See, no, never mind. I'm getting him confused with Simon Kinberg and that awful 355 movie. Yeah, that was bad.
No, Josh Trank did do something. I forget what he did. He did do something.
I'm looking it up. Well, Josh Trank class Capone. Capone was
that's right with Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
And that one was awful.
Really?
Yes, it got a 40% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oy.
What a stinker!
I mean, ooh.
You know, Christian Holland brought up a good point. Garrett Edwards directed Rogue One?
Yes, Gareth Edwards directed Rogue One.
Where had he been? That movie made $1 billion. Where had he been?
He did direct that movie.
He did the first Godzilla, I believe.
But That's why he didn't direct the film. What happened was he signed up to do the film. They started making Rogue One. Rogue One was a disaster. And so then they brought in the director for that's doing Andor right now to clean everything up. And Gareth Edwards is just like done.
And he didn't say anything about it. I don't know about him, really go about it, but he never came out against them or anything.
Oh, why would he? He's trying to say if he says anything, all it does is hurts his career. Lucasfilm was very kind to him because they brought in Tony Gilroy to help with the story and help with everything, but they left him on as director. And so he doesn't need to say anything. He just needs to keep doing his thing. He made his money. He's still making his money off that movie. He just needs to go off into the sunset and not say a word of what happened.
I don't think he'll do. I don't think he'll direct anything else, but
he'll direct. He'll direct something else.
It's been 5 years. Is that 6 years? It's been 6 years since that came out. Where has he been?
Hey, sometimes. One sec. I guarantee he's done some smaller projects. Gareth Edwards movies. The last movie he did was oh wow. Yeah, the last thing he did was Rogue One.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go. Case closed.
Wow, that's
insane.
Case closed.
That
is it?
Well, okay, but he's been executive producer of a lot of shows. There's a show called Ladhood that he's been a producer of. Upstart Crow, he's been a producer of. He's producing stuff, so he's still got some stuff, but he's just not directing.
And maybe that's good for him. Maybe he doesn't care. Like you said, if he doesn't care, more power to him.
But that the problem though is with Gareth Edwards is it's not really a problem per se. Like what they did was Godzilla made money. They got Gareth Edwards because of Godzilla and Monster, and that's why they got him. And then when things went to crap, they had to bring in Tony Gilroy to fix everything. But they kept Gareth as the name.
What they did with that is what they should have done with everything else. They kept that quiet. Nobody knew about that. Nobody knew about that.
Oh, they can't. You can't keep anything quiet anymore. Not in Hollywood.
Well, that also leads to my question to you guys is, do you think Kathleen Kennedy is just desperate, or do you think she's just desperate in terms of, I guess, trying to stay relevant and giving these false promises to fans? Or do you just think that it's at the point where, do you even know what you're doing? Because if you're making it seem as though that you have all these different directors that are slated to take on a Star Wars movie, because at this point, the amount that she has announced, it sounds like there might be, 20 of them, like 20 volumes worth of Star Wars coming up, the way she's just constantly putting names out there or saying like, all right, we got this person to do this project, and then you're still waiting for the project to come out. So just wanted to hear what you guys thought about that.
Kathleen Kennedy is in the wrong role. I think she is a great producer, and that's what she's doing. She is playing the role of a producer, but she's not playing the role of a creator. The reason why you saw such a smart move from DC getting James Gunn and Saffron is Saffron. Thank you, Saffron. Is by doing that, you are giving someone the business side and the other one creative. Kathleen Kennedy is a great producer. She's not a creator, and that's not her fault. I mean, that's just you have your strengths and you have your weaknesses. And for her, her weakness is that she's not a creator, so she's not putting in setting a plan. She's just going to her strengths of you get a movie, you get a movie, you get a movie. Oh, there's problems on this movie. You got to go, and that's when we keep seeing problems. She doesn't have there's not a goal or a plan that to make the director work in the sandbox. It's here's the sandbox, director, you do your thing. That's why Marvel worked so well in the first 3 phases was they had a sandbox, they had their toys, they gave it to each director with caveats of you can do your thing, but you're still in our playset. You can't blow up our toys. With Star Wars, it's here's our toys. You can blow up wherever you want. Last Jedi is the best example of that.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Can't argue with that. And on that note, I think we talked about everything that I wanted to talk about until that wrap up.
Oh, wait.
Look, wait, what? Yeah, Mr. Alex.
I was just wondering, has anyone seen Wakanda Forever yet?
I have.
Okay.
Okay, both of you gave a quick spoiler-free review. I have not seen it yet.
Okay. Luke, I genuinely would like to hear what you thought first. So I'll let you go first, and I'll say my review.
Okay. When watched it last night with a friend and my dad and my wife, absolutely loved the movie. I thought it was for the caveats that they had to go into it with losing Chadwick Boseman and the story that they told. It felt like Phase 3 Marvel again. I felt the humor was so much more balanced, and they handled sound and music so well in this movie. There's points where the sound is there's no music behind the action, which makes such a compelling story. And I felt like the characters were very well developed. I liked the route that they went. I felt it surprised me in ways I didn't expect them to surprise me. And I really enjoyed the route they went. I gave it a 5 out of 5.
Mr. X?
Yeah, see, so for me, I also myself saw it last night with a lady friend, and we had a good time seeing it. A lot of people were definitely engaged in the movie. The only thing is, I just wish we did not see it in 3D. God, I hated it. Such a gimmick.
Oh.
But it was like the only reasonable time because I had just gotten off work. So it was the only reasonable time that we had to go and see this movie. And so it just happened to be 3D. I think it was also in, I don't know if it was IMAX. I think it was an IMAX screen too. It looked. The thing is, this movie was not designed for 3D, so it kind of takes away. But there's one scene in particular that we see in the trailer, with the Dora Milaje jumping off the side of the ship and you follow them with the camera. That looks really good in 3D. It's like the only shot though, to me. And then one other scene, but I don't want to, spoil anything. So for me, I do agree. Yeah, I loved. I'm glad that you brought it up. The use of sound in the movie was great. I think there was at points it was weird with the audio. I don't know if it was my theater or not because I'm going to see it again, and I just want to see if I can confirm that. But it seemed at points that when Namor was talking, the audio sounded a bit low. But I do agree with when there were certain fight sequences. Love the fact that there was no music because it added more tension to the scene. It's like, all right, we're here. There's nothing. We're just hearing the sounds of these two just going at it. Just have this fight go down. The emotions behind it, I felt everything, man. Angela Bassett's performance was just. Man, so and I just have to get this one thing off my chest because I was listening to the John Campbell show earlier with the Batman Beyond crew, and I know Taylor was saying that he felt like um, the parts that were people were saying that Angela should qualify for the nomination. It's like we already kind of saw it in the trailer. I'm like, we heard like 2 lines. We didn't even get the full monologue from it, and how she delivers everything else, and the intenseness, the intensity of that scene, in the throne room, just her at the UN, and how she just carries herself the whole time as like being the steady guiding hand for everyone else. Like she has to be strong for her kingdom, and you can see how she portrays it, and it's so well done. I love Shuri Letitia Wright was great in it. Love Denai Guerrera in it. I wish we got more on Baku, but all the scenes that he was in, he definitely was really, really, really good.
Oh, he
Um,
stole every
oh
scene
my
he was
god,
in.
yeah, yeah. And Namor, badass man. I can't wait to see what they do more with him in the future. So I loved Wakanda Forever. I really enjoyed it. I think people just, I think a lot of people kind of went in with really high expectations or unrealistic expectations maybe, and forget that, you know what, let's just go in open minded, see how this is, and for what this movie is, and for all they had to deal with and go through. I think Ryan Coogler got another home run on his hands. I mean, do I like it more than the first one? No. I'd probably take like 10 minutes out of it. There's like one B plot story that I just thought was unnecessary, but I like the Ironheart character. I just didn't really feel like she needed to be there. But
I think her that plot I was fine with. There was another plot within in it that was kind of connected. That I think that was the plot that I think was not needed. It was just kind of used to move the story along later on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I got you. Yeah. Yeah. And it just kind of felt like I like her character, but it just kind of felt as though, okay, so, you know, we got her here. Let's let you all know that we have Armor Wars coming up. We've got this Ironheart show coming up soon. I just kind of I prefer when, you know, let's not do things just to do things, because, you know, hey, promotion. I got why they did that, just to keep people aware, but at the same time, it's kind of like I just felt like this story was, um, it was a much more intimate story that she didn't really need to be in, but even though her being there, even though she was there, I mean, it didn't take anything away from my enjoyment of the movie.
Honestly, I will say on the Ironheart, just keeping it non-spoiler wise, I think she was actually extremely important for the grand scheme of the whole story because she was actually pretty specific. I think the story that was the other plot that was around her was where they kept wanting to. I think that storyline around her was the problem, but I think she actually added a lot because of her relationship with Shuri. I think that relationship was actually one of the strongest.
Oh, definitely. Now I see what you mean. I completely agree with. Yeah, yeah. But I would say people have definitely should go see this movie.
Oh yeah,
definitely go see it. So I'm glad that there's someone else, you know, who has enjoyed the movie, because I've ran into a couple of people that were like, didn't really work for them, but you know, like it's all opinion.
Is this movie going to make a lot of money, you guys think?
oh yes, it's going to kill the box office because it's very rewatchable. It's a very emotionally driven movie where you want to go back and watch it again and again. I think it's going to make. I think it'll make 200,000 this weekend.
I think that the just the conflicts alone, especially just the Talican versus Wakanda conflict, and bringing in these new, bringing another kingdom with these new characters, kind of giving you like a balance of like, okay, well, we have Wakanda, but then what about this other really powerful nation? And they are badasses in every sense of the word. I cannot wait to see how they expand the world more with all these other hidden worlds that could be out there. And like to Luke's point, it's highly rewatchable. I can't wait to go and see it again myself. At points, you do feel the movie drag just a bit, but it picks right back up. Like it's it's an emotional roller coaster ride. I just definitely go see it. Just go see it. I can't praise the movie enough, honestly.
And to me, and Angela Bassett did amazing, but I think for me, and I'm probably I might not be the only one, but I think I lean this way. I think Letitia Wright, with everything she was given in the role she was given and the story she was given, I think she
Hmm.
did an absolutely incredible job portraying Shuri and everything she was going through in this movie. I think she really is this. I mean, that she really is the star of where the story is going, and just for everything she brought to the character, I thought did an absolutely excellent job.
Do you think there should be a nomination for her because she brought it?
Yes, I actually believe she should over Angela Bassett.
Wow.
Mm,
The way
Wow.
that
mm,
Oh,
the way they showed her story, the emotional range that she has to show.
yeah,
There is that point she has to show more range than even Angela Bassett did, and I think that she killed it in every role she was in.
definitely,
wow.
definitely.
Well, thank you guys for reviewing that, and I am going to see it at some point this weekend, hopefully. But yeah, so that's wrap up. Luke, tell everyone where they can find you, my man.
All right, everyone, if you will, go check us out on the Galaxy Geeks YouTube channel. Just look up Galaxy Geeks; will pop up on the for the channel. We should have some reviews coming out, or well, not reviews. We'll should have reactions. Tomorrow, I'm going to record early the I Am Groot's short, or not I Am Groot, the Grogu short, which I'm so excited to record with my wife. So we're going to be doing that. We'll have reactions. We do shorts all the time now. That's been really helping our channel a lot because I have problems. And so go check those out and find us on Twitter at Galaxy Geeks AL. Also on Twitch because I actually like to try to one day grow our Twitch. Look up Galaxy Geeks AL on Twitch, and because we're basically Galaxy Geeks AL on everything, made it a lot easier.
Sounds good. And Mr. X, tell all the good people where they can find your lustrous voice.
Oh, you can find me on my YouTube channel, The Midnight Cinema. You can find me on Instagram at The Midnight Cinema 41. You can find me on Twitter at The Outlawed Mime. You can find me on Facebook, Joshua Diggins. You can find me in the Multiverse of Geekdom Facebook group. I am here on Fridays with Ben for Weekly Geekdom, Sundays for Geekdom Uncut, and Mondays for Fellowship of Geekdom. Yes, and you know, you'll also somehow, if you decide to leave this planet, you'll find me on Asgard, just mind my own business, fooling around with Stormbreaker and Mjolnir, trying to figure out, well, which weapon I want to use which day and try to keep the jealousy down to a minimum. But yes, I'm here to provide you with love and thunder. I have some more reviews coming. Oh my gosh, I have a whole list of reviews that I'm working on. I've got Barbarian, which I just watched the other day, which was great. The Contractor, which was very disappointing. Chris Pine movie. Little Miss Sunshine, finally got to do the first time watch for that. So got a few more things coming. Obviously Black Panther Wakanda Forever, that review's also coming. But stay tuned, guys. And please join this channel here. We've got our mixer, our version of a Catalina wine mixer coming up this Saturday.
Yeah, tomorrow
actually.
night. Tomorrow night.
So stop on through. It shall be an absolute party. And I'm looking forward to seeing everyone there. So, yeah, join the channel, guys. Join the channel.
And you guys can find me at my Twitter, RainUpBit5, right here on the channel basically every day. And on the Northern Entertainment Group every Tuesday on Rewind the Tape, and every Saturday morning on the Northern Countdown. And yeah, come back tomorrow night. We're having a live stream, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Going to be a fun time. That's for day. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.